Every month, millions of Americans over 60 walk into a pharmacy, hand over their insurance card, and walk out paying 30, 50, sometimes $150 for a single prescription. They do this month after month because they believe that is what the medication costs. It is not. In many cases, the same exact drug, the same dosage, the same pill manufactured in the same facility, is sitting right behind that counter for $4, and the person standing 3 feet away from you, the pharmacist, knows it. The question is, why does nobody mention it unless you ask? Here is the uncomfortable truth. Your doctor is trained to prescribe. Your insurance company is built to process. But your pharmacist is the only person in the chain who sees both the medication and the price at the same time. On today, we are going to break down exactly what they know, how to ask for it, and why this one shift in how you fill your prescriptions could save you hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars before the end of this year. The $4 program most people have never heard of. Right now, several of the largest pharmacy chains in the country operate a generic drug program that allows you to fill a 30-day prescription for $4. Not $4 as a co-pay. $4 total. No insurance required. No membership fee. No coupon. You walk in, present your prescription, and pay $4 cash. The largest of these programs covers roughly 300 generic medications. These are not outdated drugs collecting dust on a shelf. These are the most commonly prescribed medications in the country for blood pressure, cholesterol, thyroid conditions, type 2 diabetes, acid reflux, depression, anxiety, allergies, infections, and more. Metformin, one of the most widely prescribed diabetes medications in America. $4. Lisinopril, taken by tens of millions of Americans for blood pressure. $4. Amoxicillin, one of the most common antibiotics. $4. Sertraline, used to treat depression and anxiety. $4. If you take one of these medications on a 90-day supply, the price is $10. That is roughly 3 cents a day for a prescription that your insurance company might be charging you a $25 or $30 copay to fill. And this is the part that surprises most people. You can walk into one of over 5,000 pharmacy locations across 49 states and get this pricing without showing an insurance card. In fact, in many cases, paying cash at this price is significantly cheaper than using your insurance. The pharmacy knows this. They see both numbers on their screen every time they process your prescription. But unless you specifically ask, they will run it through your insurance by default. Why your doctor never mentions the price? This is not an accusation. Doctors are doing their job. They diagnose a condition. They select the appropriate medication. And they send the prescription to your pharmacy. What they are not trained to do, and what most electronic prescribing systems do not show them, is the retail cost of what they just prescribed. A physician writing a prescription for a cholesterol medication sees the drug name, the dosage, and the potential interactions. They do not see that the brand name version costs $480 a month, while the generic equivalent is available for $4 at the pharmacy 2 miles from your house. That price information lives on the pharmacy side, not the clinic side. This is why your pharmacist is the most important financial ally you are not using. Every state in the country allows pharmacists to substitute a brand name drug with its generic equivalent as long as the prescribing physician has not specifically written dispense as written on the prescription. In most states, the pharmacist is required by law to offer the generic version. But here is the gap. The law says they must offer the substitution. It does not say they must tell you that paying cash for that generic might be cheaper than your insurance copay. You have to ask 3 words that could reshape your monthly budget. What is the cash price? Asterisk asterisk the new prescription rules that changed everything in 2026. If you are on Medicare Part D, there is a major shift that took effect this year. And if your pharmacist has not told you about it, you need to hear it right now. Starting in 2026, the federal government placed a hard cap of $2,100 on your total annual out-of-pocket spending for prescription drugs under Part D. Once your combined copays and cost-sharing reach that number, you pay $0 for every covered medication for the rest of the calendar year. Before this rule existed, there was no limit. Seniors on multiple brand-name medications could spend even $15,000 a year at the pharmacy. That era is over. The $2,100 ceiling means that even in a worst-case scenario, your total drug spending is now capped for the year. But it gets better. The government also negotiated lower prices on 10 of the most expensive, most commonly used medications in the Medicare system. These include drugs for blood clots, heart failure, diabetes, arthritis, psoriasis, and cancer. The negotiated discounts range from 38 to 79% off the previous list price. The diabetes medication, Januvia, for example, went from a list price of $527 for a 30-day supply to a negotiated price of $113. A blood thinner used by millions dropped from $521 to $231. Nearly 9 million Medicare enrollees who take these 10 medications are expected to save combined $1.5 billion in out-of-pocket costs this year alone. If you take any of these medications, confirm with your pharmacist that the negotiated price is being applied. Some plans have been slow to update their systems. If the number at the register does not reflect the new pricing, ask them to reprocess it. The comparison you should be making at every refill. Here is what nobody tells you about prescription drug pricing in 2026. The price is no longer fixed. The same drug, at the same pharmacy, on the same day, can have 4 completely different prices depending on how you pay for it. Price 1 is your insurance copay. This is what you pay when you hand over your Medicare or private insurance card. Price 2 is the pharmacy's retail cash price, which is often higher. Price 3 is the $4 generic program price, which requires no insurance at all. And Price 4 is the price through a free discount program or a direct-to-consumer pharmacy model that shows you the actual manufacturer cost plus a small markup. In many cases, Price 3 or Price 4 is the lowest. And in many cases, it is lower than your insurance copay. A peer-reviewed study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine found that Medicare could have saved nearly $4 billion in a single year by purchasing generic drugs at direct-to-consumer prices instead of the prices it was paying through traditional Part D plans. If the federal government is overpaying, there is a very good chance you are too. Before your next refill, ask your pharmacist this exact question. Can you compare my insurance copay to the cash price and to any discount program price for this medication? They can see all of these on their screen. It takes 30 seconds, and the answer might save you 20, 40, or $100 that month on a single prescription. Multiply that across 3 or 4 medications, and you are looking at real money. Every single month. For the rest of the year. The pharmacist advantage no one is using. Your pharmacist has a doctorate-level education in drug therapy. They can identify interactions your doctor missed. They can flag duplicate therapies across multiple prescribers. They can recommend over-the-counter alternatives for certain conditions that accomplish the same outcome at a fraction of the cost. And increasingly, they are being given authority in many states to modify prescriptions, adjust dosages, and even initiate certain treatments without requiring a new office visit. But most Americans treat the pharmacy counter like a drive-through window. They pick up the bag and leave. They do not ask questions about cost. They do not ask about alternatives. They do not ask whether a 90-day supply would be cheaper per unit than a 30-day refill. They do not ask whether a different manufacturer of the same generic might be priced lower at that particular location. Every single one of these questions is fair. Every single one of these questions the pharmacist can answer on the spot. And every single one of these questions can reduce what you spend. Here is what I want you to do before your next refill. Step 1. Pull out every prescription you are currently taking. Write down the name, the dosage, and what you are currently paying. Step 2. Call or visit your pharmacy and ask 3 questions. What is the cash price for each medication? Is this drug available on any $4 or discount generic list? And is there a lower cost equivalent that my doctor could switch me to? Step 3. If you are on Medicare Part D, confirm that the $2,100 out-of-pocket cap is being tracked correctly on your account. Ask the pharmacist to show you where you stand. If you have already spent a significant amount this year, you may be closer to $0 prescriptions than you think. Step 4. Look at your prescriptions one more time and check whether any of the 10 federally negotiated medications are on your list. If they are, make sure you are getting the new lower price, not last year's rate. The information is there. The savings are real. The only thing missing is the conversation. Have it once, and it changes every refill after.